What's going on, everyone? Welcome back. In this video, we're looking at the early slate video for today. We have 3 games on Draftkings, 4 on FanDuel. FanDuel starting at 12 o'clock, Draftkings at 2:30. So let's get into it. I'll have a main slate video out as well. So as always, appreciate if you guys hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow me on Twitter at the DFS Process for updates, and check out the website if you want to join. Yesterday, Fox was awesome. Got the win on FanDuel, missed by DraftKings by a little bit. Fox wasn't even too highly owned on DraftKings for like 3 game slate, but he dropped like 78, I believe. So that was nice. Just needed a little bit more from some of the Denver guys. But on to today for this 3 gamer. We'll go position by position. Starting off here at point guard, Damian Lillard is looking like the best option. He's 3 games on DraftKings, but Lillard is just the best pay up option. He's only $9,900, which is not high enough with no CJ McCollum. He's going to play like 40 minutes tonight if this game is close, which I do think. I think Portland can keep it close with Lillard. Probably going to shoot like 25 times tonight or this afternoon. It's a fine spot against the Spurs defense. He's probably matched up against DeJounte Murray, who's a very good defender, but I'm not too worried about Damian Lillard being slowed down by Murray. Think he's in line for a huge game and definitely will not be fading him on a 3 game slate. Other guys to look at point guard, you have Trae Young at 94. Trae Young's kind of been struggling a lot this season shooting the basketball, 26% from 3, 38% from the floor. Took 23 shots last time out against Portland, only made 7 of them. That was followed up by 1 of 11 shooting effort against the Jazz, which, of course, I played him that day. But I think he looks fine against Minnesota. It's just such a great spot in terms of not playing any defense for the Timberwolves. She'll be able to put up some points as a team, and Trae Young, if he can manage to hit some shots, will probably drop a 50 burger. Only shot 30%, and he still dropped 50 fantasy points. Almost flirted with the triple double for a little bit. So he's also a fine pay up option. But I do kind of prefer D'Angelo Russell today. $8,600 against the Hawks, a little bit cheaper than Trae Young, but $800. So that helps, and the fact that Karl Anthony Towns is out. Big man just can't catch a break now. He tested positive for COVID. So he's going to be out for a bit, and Russell's going to benefit with the added usage. I do think this spot is going to be a high-scoring game. The Hawks have actually been above average defensively this season, but the Timberwolves just put up a lot of points, and they score. And they give up a ton, and they try to score a lot. They play at a fast pace, so I do like Russell without Towns today against the Hawks. Definitely try to pay up for some of these high-powered guards today. I don't really have interest in DeJounte Murray at 81, just like Russell, Lillard, all the top tier a little bit more. Tyler Hero, if he plays, he's fine, but I think now that Dragic is back, I don't think he's like a must-play. Speaking of Dragic, came back last game, played 30 minutes, struggled in that game at 5 turnovers, did get to a double-double. Only $6,100 if Hero is out again. He looks a lot better. If Hero's in, looks fine, but he's not a core piece. DeLon Wright's been playing better and playing a lot more now that Killian Hayes is out for a bit. He almost had a double-double last game, missed it by a bucket. He's playing around 20, like 26. He played in a blowout, but he's playing over 30 minutes, 32, 36, 34 in the 3 games previous to that. He is not the best shooter, as evident by 1 for 10 and 2 for 9, but he can do a little bit of everything with the rebounds, assists, and it's not a terrible spot. It's just a rematch of what they played last time out against the Heat. Without Butler, that's going to help the Pistons stay in the game and on the offensive side. And then if you want to go cheap here, you have Anfernee Simons. He's only $3,000. Probably going to be starting in place of McCollum. He did start the second half, only played 8 minutes because he kind of struggled. But if he starts in this game, then he's probably going to play around 20 minutes. He can kind of pencil at least 20 minutes, I would say. And upside for more. He's been a productive piece whenever he has started. Just hasn't really got many opportunities this season, and the ones that he has got, he kind of struggled. So Terry Stotts have kind of been giving a little bit more minutes to like Trent. And Gary Trent is also another solid value option at $4,000. So definitely think you can kind of load up on the Portland side with Lillard, Russell, Trent, and Simons. And then even at center, you can play like Cantor's only 63. So Lillard, Cantor, and Simons are my favorites, and then Trent looks solid as well at 4,000. You also have Covington, who's only 5,300. He's been really bad shooting the ball, but he's going to play a ton. If you don't feel good about Covington, you can go down to probably go Derek Jones over Carmelo, but Derek Jones only 38. Played 34 minutes last game, and going to play a good amount without McCollum. Everybody just gets a bump in usage. So back to shooting guard. Definitely Russell is the top option. I like Beasley a bit, 72. Not a must play, but he looks fine just because he's going to shoot a ton. Then I scroll down a bit here. I'm not that interested in 59 for Duncan Robinson if Tyler Hero plays. Definitely not that interested in Lonnie Walker. DeLon Wright looks fine if you wanted to go there. Patty Mills is now 53. I don't think I'll get to that. Probably go down to like a Trent looks solid at this price tag or the Timberwolves are also super banged up, so you can play 30. Oh, this is for small forward, but small forward you can play $3,500 Josh Okogie. He's gonna start and play 30 plus minutes, probably with just all the injuries. Hernan Gomez, no Karl Anthony Towns, no Ricky Rubio, so they are pretty short on bodies. A guy that not the greatest fantasy player, but he's good on the defensive end, which is going to give him some minutes. Might even be tasked with guarding Trae Young tonight or this afternoon. So he looks great at 35. He's probably one of my better value plays. You do have a ton of value on the slate, so that's why it's pretty easy to pay up for Lillard, Russell, and even another guy if you wanted to. Power forward, you have DeMar DeRozan as 89. Somehow he's power forward eligible. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but he seems a little bit high of a price. You have LaMarcus Aldridge. Nobody's going to really go to him at $6,400. But I think it's a fine spot. It's against his former team. So, those revenge spots typically work out depending on the type of player. Aldridge has done well against his former team in the past. And people are going to look at the fact that he played 17 minutes last game and be kind of scared off of him. But that was mainly because Jakob Poeltl had just had a huge game off the bench and Pop kind of just stuck with a hot hand. Played him 30 minutes. That's probably not going to happen again. So definitely think Aldridge is a fine play if you wanted to go to LaMarcus Aldridge. If you want to go a bit safer, you can look to like Jeremy Grant. First time I've kind of been recommending Grant this season, but been impressed with what he's been doing. He's playing a ton of minutes. Seems to be the number one option on the team, even when Blake Griffin is in there, taking 19, 19, 19 shots, taking 19 to 20 plus shots every game, which is great for a guy that's like that you're paying 8,000 for. You want to get a guy that's going to shoot a ton. He also is great on the defensive end with steals, blocks, gets you rebounds. So a little bit of everything for a guy that is just going to have to carry the team. Him and Blake Griffin. Griffin is not just at this point of his career, he's just not playing like as well as he typically does, shooting under 40% from the floor, under 33% from three, averaging just 32 minutes. So they haven't been pushing him into the ground, and I don't think that's going to start anytime soon. So Grant looks fine at 82 if you wanted to go there, and then he has 52, 50 left to fill it out. So kind of it for the DraftKings side. Definitely will be targeting the Portland side, and then Portland's the best team to target on this three-gamer, and then the Timberwolves, and then probably the Hawks a little bit, and then the Pistons and the Miami game, depending on Tyler Hero. And the Spurs are a little bit tough to get to, except for like Aldridge, who's cheap. So that's it for the DraftKings side. Let's jump over to FanDuel. That one's starting at 12, so in 3 hours. All right, FanDuel, they included the Orlando and New York game in the slate. So starting off here at point guard, I still think Lillard is just really tough to pass up on. 10-1. Without McCollum, it's just impossible for me not to have him in there. Trae Young looks fine at 89. I think Murray looks better than he does on DraftKings at 78. And then if you wanted to go cheap here as your second guy, I think Dragic looks fine at 55. Whether Hero is in or out, without Butler, he looks fine. You could look to DeLon Wright at 56. And then Cole Anthony actually had his first decent game, or first really good game, with 42 FanDuel points. He only played 29 minutes, but and he also did kind of get carried with the steals. With like 12 of his points came from steals. So I don't think it's not going to happen every single game. You'll get that once in a while from him. But Lillard is definitely the guy you want. At shooting guard, you have DeRozan and Russell. DeRozan looks better than he does on DraftKings, $700 cheaper. I like Russell the best though at 81. And then I think you can take a shot on Like if you wanted to go cheap here, you can look at Cam Reddish. Reddish is only $4,500 on FanDuel, so nice cheap price tag if he plays. Lonnie Walker is also only 45, but with them all healthy, it's a little bit scary, but definitely could be worth it on a short slate. But I'll probably pay out for like Russell. I think DeMar DeRozan looks great, and then you can look to like Derrick Rose, uh, who had a good game, but that's still think it's a little bit scary to rely on Derrick Rose. So if not, I'll probably go cheap for like Kevin Huerter or Cam Reddish. Huerter if Reddish misses. Small forward Jeremy Grant is 84. I think that is fine if you wanted to go that route. If you wanted to go cheaper, you have Malik Beasley at only 6,600. That looks nice. Hunter is only 56, so slowed down the last couple games, but he's been pretty productive all season. But you do have plenty of cheap options at this position. Also, at shooting guard, you have Gary Trent, who's only 36, so you can go with Trent. But you have Vanderbilt if he starts at 42, that would be a nice option. You have OG is also super cheap at 3,900. So I'll probably stick with like one of the cheap options, just so I can pay up for some other guys. But Koji looks, I'll probably just go Beasley, only 66. Moving on to small or power forward, we have Julius Randle at 89. The Knicks actually started to play some guys. Last time we saw Obi Toppin play a couple minutes, play solid minutes off the bench. So Randle played 31. Still think he's gonna be in line for a huge game. That was also a huge blowout, so maybe that's why. But Randle, folks, fine if you wanted to go to him. I kind of prefer going a little bit cheaper for like a Aaron Gordon or a John Collins or LaMarcus Aldridge, only 6,000 on FanDuel. You also have Covington. Who's super cheap at 48. So you have plenty of options at power forward. I will probably stick with like Aaron Gordon's gonna have a good game at 65. And center, you have a few options. You have Vucevic at 99. If you wanted to go all the way up. If not, you have Clint Capella. But Cantor is my favorite at 63. Just gonna play a lot. Also, it's just pretty productive when he's out there, getting rebounds, scoring at the basket. He also had a big game in the blocks department last game. So definitely think these 5 look pretty solid. And that's it for the early slate. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for our main slate video that will be out sometime soon. Thanks for watching and best of luck.